Welcome to James Hates Everything, and today we are diving in to the Team Encoder mystery fastly forward hack for Arcade1up Fast and Furious. That's right. Today we are going to walk you through everything you need to know to add a ton of excellent games to this underutilized cab. Of course, everybody knows Fast and Furious. It's a game that came with the title, the cabinet's title, right? Fast and Furious. It also came with Tokyo Drift. So two driving games, but of course, you didn't really get two driving games. What you got was Tokyo Drift split into two with the tracks from the first one stuck in and called Fast and Furious, and then the additional tracks that were added in Tokyo Drift as Tokyo Drift. We also know we didn't get all the cars. While this is a fun game, it's really a cabinet that could use a lot of help. So today we are diving into this hack from Team Encoder that will elevate the usefulness of this already fun arcade cabinet. So before we get started, let's talk about everything you're gonna need. All right, the first things you're gonna need are two different software packages. And by the time this video goes live or shortly thereafter, you should be able to go over to the team-encoder.com website and download those files. But until then, I've put links in the description below so that you can grab the files. The first file is the software package, the loader that you are going to use to flash this hack onto your Fast and Furious cab. The second file you need is going to be an image file that you are going to use to flash a USB drive to add the necessary files and structures to make this hack work for you, to basically to add the games and functionality. Now, this image file does not include the ROMs, and chances are, if you're watching this video, you probably have a good idea on where you can get ROMs. I cannot share that with you. This is something YouTube frowns upon. Obviously, for legality reasons, you should own these games that you're going to load on here. But chances are there's an organization somewhere that contains an archive that you can search and find exactly the ROMs you need. So like I said, check the description below for those links to those two files. All right, so in addition, you're going to need a computer to actually run the software flash, and to connect that computer to the PCB on the back of your Fast and Furious cab, you are going to need a USB-A to micro USB cable. Now, chances are you probably have a bunch of these already because many devices come with a USB-A to micro USB cable. Unfortunately, the vast majority of these that you probably already own are power only cables. You need one that is capable of delivering power and data as well. So if you find yourself having issues with this during the connection phase, chances are it is the cable you are using and you will need to find a different one. So again, I've put a link in the description to a recommended micro USB cable that we know works for this purpose, just in case you don't already have one. And as I previously mentioned, you're also going to need a USB stick. This is where the second software file, the image, is going to be flashed to. So this is the one I used. You can use pretty much any one that's probably around 64 gigabytes or so. This is a cheap SanDisk, and it worked perfectly for me. So that's why I'm showing this one and recommending this use, because I know it worked for this purpose. Now that you know what we need, let's get into how to connect all of this up. All right, so the first thing you're going to do is unzip the mff.zip file you just downloaded. Let that extract to a folder on your computer. In that folder, you will find the mystery fastly forward executable. Just double click that to launch the application. You'll be prompted by Windows saying, hey, this is unsigned. Just go ahead and click run anyway, let it run. If there's nothing wrong with it. And this is the application you're going to need to actually do the flash. And so what you see here on the screen is we've already launched this application. We've already approved to Windows. And you'll see here in the logs window, it says running integrity checks before allowing usage of the application. No PSP device is connected. Please restart the cabinet and connect the USB device. If you are not getting a connection, a different USB port, make sure the micro USB is fully inserted to the PCB waiting for PCB. So right now we've got the application running, but we haven't connected up the cab. So let's go connect the cab and I'll show you the steps that you need to do that right now. All right, now on the back of the cab, we have a few steps we need to do. First, you're going to unplug the power to the cabinet. Then you're going to go to the flash switch, and this is hidden behind that quality control sticker. You're going to flip that from on to off. Once it's in the off position, and you can see here, it's a little button. I had a little time having issues getting it flipped over. Okay, and once that switch is in the off position, now it is time to connect up our USB cable, the micro USB. So you're going to slot that right here next to the power port. And you want to make sure it is fully inserted. Once it's fully inserted, you can now connect the other end of the USB cable to your computer. And then what you want to do is reattach the power cord to the PCB. Once that's in place, you're just going to jump around to the front of the cab and you're going to turn the cabinet back on. All right, once you've turned it back on, you should hear the computer play the typical chime that you get from Windows when you plug a USB device in. When you do that, you'll also notice the mystery Fastly Forward software will detect the cab has been connected. And there we go. Now the cab is connected. So the next step, if this is the first mod you've ever done from Mystery Encoder on this cabinet, chances are you're going to be prompted to install some drivers. So the first step would be to go ahead and follow those prompts, click the OK to install the drivers. The drivers take about, maybe a minute and a half to 2 minutes to install. Once the drivers are installed, you will find yourself back at this screen that we're at now, where it says operation completed, enabling payload launch button. And now you have the install Mystery Fastly Forward button ready to go. So the next step is that easy. You are just going to go ahead and click the install Mystery Fastly Forward. That's all you need to do. It's now started. The entire process is going to take about 3 minutes as it loads the payload, executes it, and gets the cabinet ready for you. So we'll go ahead and fast forward through this so you can see that process. Feel free to slow it down if you want to watch the boring meter go across, but we'll go ahead and jump to the end of this installation and talk about the next steps. Okay, now we've completed the installation. As you can see here, it is now recommended that we wait about 2 minutes before we reboot the cab. So let's wait those 2 minutes and we'll do that off camera, obviously. And then we're going to go back and we're going to reverse all the connections we just made. Okay, so right now we are in the process of disconnecting things. So first we're going to pull the power. Once we've done that, we're going to pull the USB cable out of the back. And then we're going to go to that flash switch and we're going to move it from the off down to the on position. And once we have that, we're just going to put the power back into the cabinet. And now we are ready for the next step, which is to create our USB drive. So let's head over to the computer and let's take a look at that, shall we? All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to extract our image file. That is the file that ends in .7z. You need to use unzip to extract this file. Once you've done, you should have this .img file that is roughly 29 gigabytes in size. What we're going to do is use this file to flash to our USB stick. So first up, insert the USB stick into your computer, which I have done here. Now, I've already formatted this drive so it's ready to go. But just in case you have not, all you need to do is right click on the drive in File Explorer, select Format. I used exFAT for mine. This one is formatted in FAT32 for the demonstration purposes. Any should work. Either of those should work. But feel free to switch over to exFAT because I know that works, or leave it at the default FAT32. And then go ahead and click Start. Once you've done that, it takes just a couple seconds, and now your drive is formatted. Then you're going to want to go back to the image file, and now we need to launch Balena Etcher. And Balena Etcher, again, is another free file or free application. So if you don't have that, just go out to Google, search for Balena Etcher, and there you go. Now, you'll see it's already detected our USB drive. And now we just need to select an image file. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to browse to our image, and we're going to select that. Then that is now loaded. And then you just click the flash button. You're going to give permission to Windows. And there you go. Now it's off doing the flash. This should probably take about 10 or 15 minutes. It's going to go through its initial step of flashing the drive. Once the flash is finished, it will move to another step of verification. You can let the verification continue. I do not. I usually just cancel out of it. You don't really need to do that. But let's go ahead, let this complete. We'll fast forward through this so you don't have to sit through all of this flashing process, and we will go from there. Okay, so there we go. It has completed. The actual time was a lot closer to 30 minutes than 10 or 15. So apologies on that. So we'll take you about a half hour. Again, on this validating step, we don't really need to sit through that. So we're going to go ahead and skip that. And now we are finished. And as you come down here, you now see our USB drive, and it has been renamed Mystery FF for Fastly Forward. You can see we have our files loaded on here. And as we browse through, you can see, here's where a lot of the files are located. You can, you got PSP, save data systems. So all the config stuff is in here. You have your RetroArch. And as we go through here, here's our different cores and things for RetroArch on here, which means you are capable of loading all kinds of other ROMs and things like that. But what you're looking for is you go into the RetroArch folder, you have your ROMs folder. In the ROMs folder, you see the breakout of all the different systems and devices in here. You can see artwork, things like that. As we come into Dreamcast, here's where you're seeing lots of the different games that we have on here. You can see here's Daytona for Dreamcast. This is where you're going to want to drop those ROMs as you download them. So go through here, look for where you want to place your ROMs in the right systems, and you should be good to go. So with that all completed, we are now going to eject our USB drive. So there we go. Once it's ejected, now it's safe. Now it's safe to pull out of your computer, and we are good to go. So now All we have to do is head back over to the cab. We're going to plug this USB into the port at the top of the PCB. Once it's plugged in, we're just going to fire this puppy up. So let's head over to the cab right now and take a look.
Go ahead and pick a car and driver. All right, let's get it on. Hey, it's time to make some crazy money. Are you ready? Here we go.
All right, guys, there you've seen how to install this MFF pack on the Arcade1up Fast and Furious Deluxe. Let us know what you think. Is this something you are interested in doing? If you've already done it, let us know down below in the comments. And don't forget to smash the like button. And for more videos like these, make sure you hit subscribe, ring that bell for notification. And, you know, this is normally the part of the video where I tell you, until next time, have fun. But I think I'm going to instead play a little bit of this Hydro Thunder. I haven't had a chance yet to play this one. So why don't we do a little bit of that, and, until the next time, have fun.
Hydro Thunder. Choose your Thunder part. Choose your Midway.